And we're live at the SMB Comedy Podcast.
I like where you were going with it before.
Well, that was it.
It was a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was a dark and stormy night.
Yes.
It's actually Thursday.
Yes, it was a Wednesday.
Dude, don't fuck up people's sense of time,
Yeah,
you know?
man.
Like, this is in the ether at this point.
Dude, 45 seconds in and Jesse's already being a dick.
So you got to upload this on a Wednesday?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
All
Yeah.
right. So we are the SMB Comedy Podcast.
We are.
Troupe. Collective.
I wouldn't consider us really a troupe.
No?
What is it? What does a
Collective.
troop consist of? What is the requirements to be in a troop?
Housing development.
Okay, well, this
I
I
consider
can
us,
certainly squeeze in there.
I consider us more of a gaggle.
Yeah, I would.
We're
I
a
would agree with
gaggle
that.
of pals. You talk about shit that no one
We
cares
do
about.
talk about
Yeah.
shit a lot. I will say.
Yeah, well, these are going to be like the underground episodes where people are like digging back into
The
the
real-
archives,
yeah.
and we make them pay for it eventually.
Yeah.
yeah.
By the way-
that's going to happen.
Do I need to address the elephant in the room?
What is that we didn't say our names yet?
No.
Oh.
But no Michael tonight.
Yes.
Oh,
Mike
shit.
is not with us
Shit.
tonight.
We're
That's
out.
right.
We're out mic'd.
Yeah. So Mike's not here.
He's not with us.
He's dealing with some show business.
Yes.
I think he's got a show tonight
Break a leg.
at the Improv, doing some hosting or something like that. But I'm not sure.
I don't know what's going on.
Anyways, so I'm Greg,
I'm Scott.
And I am Jesse.
and that's a weak ass intro.
That was.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it was fucking
very
like 5
awkward.
minutes in the
I
making.
know,
Yeah.
I know, right? If you didn't know,
The
by
longest intro in the history of intros.
now. There you go. You just gotta, you just gotta do it sometimes. you
Yeah,
know?
man.
It's sort of like brushing your teeth. Like I don't wanna, but then people aren't gonna know. who
Really,
I-
you like bad breath?
Oh no, I don't. It was a horrible example.
Yeah.
So, so yes, what was happening? What is happening? I mean, it's been what, like 2 weeks since we got.
It
got
has
Yeah,
been a
yeah,
couple
2
weeks.
weeks, man.
Yes.
Jesse's big timing us.
Oh, jeez.
Mm.
I had given prior notice.
That's what it was. Okay, so you had a show last week. And
I
we
did have a
couldn't-
show
we couldn't
last
get
week.
together because
Well,
you were like,
I was under the impression we were
I'm
not
a
recording that
superstar.
week. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I set
well,
up a
because
show.
yes,
I
the
did,
last
yes.
Thursday and every month occasionally,
Yeah.
we don't do the show. But we switched things
It's
around. So
just a
no,
miscommunication.
It's all good. This is.
But
it's all just practice.
exactly.
Talking about practice.
It was a good time though. I had a good time with the show.
Yeah. Oh,
That went pretty well.
How'd you do?
I thought it did pretty well.
You've been killing it lately. What's up?
Well,
I'm feeling
you know,
like
not all the time, but
kind of a-
I have had a few good shows recently. Had a few
sort of a.
okays here and there too, but you know that happens.
Yeah.
That's the worst kinds.
It's
Yeah.
the okay shows. Where
Yeah.
you weren't great, but
You're like, man.
That like that
Jesus
was
fucking
that was
Christ.
bad. You just got good or bad,
Come
and that was
on,
bad.
man. It's a glass table.
So we just spilled the bottle.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Yeah.
get a new beer without drinking the last
Jesse.
little bit of that one.
The hot. That's the devil's cut.
That was your way out of it. You're like, this beer's warm. I need to
fuck
find a
this
way
beer.
to. Yeah.
Anyways,
So-
what else has been going on this week?
Well.
Scott
Hitchbot.
Hitchbot.
Oh yeah.
So what is Hitchbot? Do you know?
Hitchbot is this dumbass fucking invention that somebody made. Who invented this fucking
It's
thing? Anyway?
someone from Canada.
That's a good question.
Of course. Someone with nothing to fucking do. They're like, listen, let's make a robot, but this
That
robot.
sounds like an Irishman.
I know, but he's Bush dialect.
I see.
Well, who
Fuck off.
in their right mind would be like,
Yeah.
let's take a bunch of
Yeah, let's build a
let's
fucking
build
robot,
a robot and put it on this. What did they do? They
What was the
and
purpose?
then we'll just
though?
put a little fucking little pouch on them so we can put notes in them, and we'll send them. Hey, take me to fucking Levenslaw, Missouri,
Yeah. So
and then we'll drop them off there.
So what they do is they take this Hitchbot and they put it on the side of the road, and the whole point was, I think it started in Canada at one point because that's where it's from. And they wanted to travel across Canada, so they were like, hey, we'll put this on the side of the road with a note that's saying like, I'm going to, I'm in Vancouver, I'm going to Toronto or something,
Sure.
whatever's on the East Coast. And they're like, let me just give me a ride or whatever, and drop me off wherever you can. So
Yeah.
people would, like a hitchhiker, Hitchbot, they would take him from place to place and drop him off on the corner, and he ended up going all the way across Canada, I guess, and then parts of Germany and Scandinavia.
I wonder how many people just kicked his ass out of the
At
car.
least
Get out, bitch! Wow.
that people didn't find that
Ouch.
kind of creepy though.
Or what
I
if you
do.
you programmed it with like sexist jokes? and
Yeah.
it was, like, motion sensor. Like, hey,
But-
how about I stick it in?
Yeah.
Ultimately, what's the purpose? Like, what was the idea behind it? Like, ultimately to prove.
Well, it was to prove that, as far as a robot goes, it doesn't even need to be mobile, and it can still kind of get around. I can't get into the theory of it. I remember hearing about it when it came out.
Okay.
And it was like, all right, we're going to do this sort of like crowd sharing, like, a human experiment. So
It's so fucking stupid if you think about it.
So what happens when it? So finally they decided they were going to take this robot and make it go from Massachusetts to San Francisco.
Okay.
And it made it as far as Philadelphia.
First major metropolitan city. Yeah.
So it made it 2 weeks, and it made it to Philadelphia, and it was ingloriously stomped. The fuck
By Randall Cunningham, right? It wasn't those-
got murked.
Was that guy in a Randall Cunningham?
Yeah.
He was
jersey?
in a Randall
that
Cunningham
is
jersey.
that is it's not even a New Jersey.
You know, if you're Randall Cunningham, you got to be like,
Yeah.
no one's been thinking about me for like the past
yeah.
20 fucking years.
He's probably had to make
and
it about
this guy's
Listen,
got to be the guy who brings me back
he
up.
made
you know
a
what I mean?
statement like, "Listen, I had nothing to do with the
That was not me
unfortunate
reliving my glory
beating
days in my jersey, beating that man down.
of the very lovable
Yeah, Hitchbot.
Hitchbot." I was in my home in Arizona.
That is so funny.
At least they knew not to send him to America right away, though. I will say. So at least he got to
That was
experience
probably
a little
what
bit.
I love about it is that there's people from Canada. They're like, oh, well, it's like a human experiment and everything, and it's so funny. Scott's immediate reaction is like, that's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like that was literally probably why the guy was stomping it
Steer
out.
away
Like,
from the
what-
jungle.
they're like, what motherfucker is gonna put this thing like near my fucking? They're like, dude, I'm sure it went through some ghettos in Germany and Canada at one
He
point.
probably like hitched up.
Yeah,
with
but
it.
what are those ghettos like?
trying to-
What does Canadian ghetto look like?
But that's why I said that we were
Probably
talking.
smells like syrup.
Well, they certainly didn't truck it across the Middle East or
Yeah.
or something like that.
That
you
shit
know?
would have been a suicide bomb.
Yeah.
It would have been like Star
People,
Wars,
people
dude.
who drove by, they would have like lit that thing up. And like, that's definitely a bomb. There's no way. Like, you know.
The Americans are getting really cocky now. They're just being so blatant with
yeah,
it.
it's so obvious. It'd be like, oh, well, that's what they should do with like the ISIS guy we talked about last week. When they forgot the bomb they put there, and then and they ended up blowing themselves up. They should just make a bunch of little hitch bots that they put
That
there.
was a
Like,
heartwarming story.
I know for sure.
There's got to be a movie about Hitchbot.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh,
It just happened last
that-
week.
that
There's
would
already
be-
somebody in Hollywood trying to get rich who's writing
oh,
that
the
The
story.
feel-good story of the year.
And it's going to show him like
Starring.
fighting kung fu. Like the robot's going to be fighting off 20 people taekwondoing until finally he succumbs. You know.
Starring R2D2 as Hitchbot.
Yeah.
See, what I want to see is like the story of the guy that beat up Hitchbot. And
Yeah.
It would be like American History X, except like the curbing part is with Hitchbot. You're like, oh my god, Hitchbot came out. Like,
He's
I did
been
not
like
see
20
that
years.
coming.
He's going to be like, I don't know why I did it. I did it. You know what I'm saying? I just watched a Rocky Marathon. I'm walking around. Hitchbot's asking me questions, and I kicked him in the ass.
Just one more person to take my job.
Yeah. I don't like robots. They're creepy, man.
Right? Like,
Robots creep me out,
well,
man.
how do you know it wasn't like that guy was like he got let go that day because sorry you
He
don't
works
get-
at a factory or something.
Or he's like
I was trying to get a ride, man. That's all I need is
They
the
picked up
roads.
that fucking machine, that robot.
Everyone, everyone knows the hitchhiking's out, man.
And he was on his last, the last straw. He was like, all
Yeah.
right. He's like, all right, I've had it.
Tired of walking.
I've had it with
This
robots.
fucking up looking robot gets a ride.
And then that's what happened.
It would have. Dude, I'm telling you, if they called it Blowbot, it would have made it to wherever the fuck it was going.
That would've been it.
They would have been. Yeah, it would have been passed around. What are you talking about?
It would just
Scott?
be like in some crack house,
Yeah.
and be like, they'd be like charging a premium.
Yeah, that's true.
Like-
Maybe it would only lasted like 45 seconds.
yeah.
A 12-year-old boy stole Blowbot, and he got Blowbot went crazy.
Blowbot.
Yeah, Blowbot.
Yeah, that's like a robot that can
I think the
blowjob.
Japanese made that one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're right there. That's another thing. What do you guys think about that?
I think
the
it's
whole,
weird, man.
The new sexual revolution that's going to happen within our lifetime is where it's going to be people. There's going to be sex robots.
Yeah, pretty soon we're
Yeah.
gonna be like fucking bears. We're not. As soon as we grow up, we're gonna just move out and just be solitary. All I need is my phone and food.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'm just old school with it, man. I'm still gonna want just like the real thing. It's like weed. Everybody's got these new ways of smoking. I just like the old ways, like joining.
You're like,
Everybody's
everyone's
got these drops and
these
it's just
new
like, yeah,
ways of
man. I'll just
smoking
roll
weed.
it and
They're
shit,
like,
man.
Give me some flakka.
Yeah,
Next,
it's
they're
like-
running down the fucking street naked, being
Just
like,
let
"I'm
me-
Thor, the Thunder God."
Nobody
And
can.
roll a blunt or
What the
something
fuck
like
is
that.
up
I'm
with
straight.
these kids though? They can't handle their dope.
Well,
Well, they're babied at every corner.
They
you know.
can't handle anything. They ruin it for everyone.
yeah.
No,
what
drugs
are you
were
talking
illegal
about? The
before
guys,
them,
the
I was
people
gonna
doing
say.
that, the flocka, or the people just smoking weed? And
Yeah.
I don't feel like people are getting
People
too out of
smoking
control.
weed because there's always a kid that's like, "Oh my God, I fell down steps." His mom's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Weed marijuana is very dangerous."
Well, there was one guy in Colorado that jumped off of a balcony.
Yeah, I read that
on
shit.
edibles. But
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, yeah, and what?
Yeah.
Like,
So you know
I don't-
how many people do it when they're not on
right,
drugs?
right,
You know what I
or
mean?
even that drunk. You
Right,
know what I'm
exactly,
saying? Like,
exactly.
yeah. I was
Who
like,
the fuck hasn't done that?
I believe they call that moment an epiphany. It's when you realize, hey, I'm such a piece of shit. When and you just jump
Ooh,
off the
Jesse.
building.
Damn, Jesse.
No, I'm talking about these people are killing themselves for a reason.
Hey, you piece of shit! Way to accidentally fall off a building. Actually, no, that guy
I don't
jumped
know,
off the
but I was
building.
gonna say, if you jumped, you don't.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of some.
You remember that
Who
movie?
accidentally falls off of a building?
this barista in New York that happened not too long ago.
Did she die?
Yeah, she did.
What happened?
She took a
I'm
bunch
skeptical.
of pictures of herself on the rooftop.
Oh, then you're
and
an
she
idiot.
was no, she was like, "Look, I'm looking down." Had like drinks and stuff like that, and then like she ended up falling.
Okay, well then,
eventually,
sorry.
yeah, it's one of those
Shit
things.
happens.
Yeah,
Like fucking Goofy.
Goofy does that noise?
Yeah, when he falls.
Oh, he does?
When he falls off the cliff. When he falls off a cliff.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember that.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck you guys. You guys had shitty childhoods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I
Never
remember.
watched fucking
I remember.
Disney.
I remember Goof
Was that
Troop.
up for debate?
Goofy.
You never watch fucking Disney or nothing?
In the Goof Troop, he was like,
course.
and you're like this hazelnut, where you're all shitty looking on the outside, but then you crack it open, and you could eat the nut on the inside, or something like
What?
that.
I
Is
missed
Goofy
that one
a
too.
fucking redneck?
No,
I missed that one too.
You're like, hey, I'm Goofy. How
well,
you doing?
that was from Goof Troop, bro. I don't know.
Like, you sounded like it was from
shit.
fucking City Slickers.
Well, maybe I'm not as good at doing impressions as you are, or
shots-
maybe-
shots fired.
nobody.
How dare you give him those compliments? Shots fired.
Shots right. It's like I really am terrible at things.
I know you didn't mean it.
I'm
you
not as
son
good
of a
as you.
bitch.
You fucker.
It's true. All right. So anyway,
Why are you so sensitive?
it's fucking ever
There's a
since
bottle opener right
Hitchbot,
there.
man.
That's
just
what I
can't-
was looking for. Actually,
I
I left my keys outside.
The keys right there.
I can't stop laughing.
You can,
When I-
about Hitch. I love the
I
fact that Canadians thought they could put something in America, like an immobile object. People would take it from car to car. I'm like, how long? If you ask any American, like, how long do you think a robot? And I remember reading about it. I was like, you could only pull that shit off in like non-Canadian
It
countries.
just shows how
Or-
little they understand about America. and the way
Yeah,
America
yeah.
works,
It's rough. It's a hard
Yeah.
knock life around here. People don't fuck around, and they'll fuck your shit up for no apparent reason. Like they just look for a reason. You could have one of those reality shows where
You know what I noticed that the news is all about, though? I'm starting to realize
What's that?
about shit that really ain't news. What's going on behind our backs, Greg? You're the man with your eye on the real fucking story.
Oh well.
Well, wait. So far, we got this fucking stupid lion or tiger.
Oh,
Oh,
shit,
shit!
someone
Somebody
killed
killed
it.
we totally forgot
That's
to
right.
talk
Somebody
about that.
killed a
That's
fucking tiger. Let's get crazy.
Black
Like-
Lives Matter.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say
There-
about that.
There's only one thing I had to say about the whole thing, and I didn't do all my research into why this line was so important or everything, and I'm not even
He
saying
was a fan.
I'm not even
favorite.
saying that.
Okay,
it's,
so they
no,
all-
I'm not defending the guy at all. But the one thing I will say is, like, I wonder. I question the outrage of people and the fact that is like.
Or the amount
Are
of
they-
outrage.
Yeah, the day before you never heard of the lion, you never knew it
Yeah.
existed, and
Or-
now today it's like the worst thing in the world. Are you really mad because the lion was killed, or like you mad because you're mad that this motherfucker has $55,000 to just throw away on such a
whereas they're
useless,
just being
this fucking
haters.
douchebag?
Yeah,
Well, no, I mean the guy's a douchebag. I think that's obvious.
Why
Right,
though?
I mean,
He paid. It's.
I have a problem with people if you're any hunter, not just because it's a stupid line. I think it's stupid if you're not really hunting. If you're paying to have some stocked farm or jungle or something, and you
Yeah,
go
but
out there,
listen,
and
the village
it's horse
gets
shit.
money, which they need. Yes, the village gets the
I see.
meat, which they need. They're gonna kill the fucking animal anyway.
Actually, this animal
was-
was on a nature reserve.
Yeah,
I was
I mean
gonna
they
say-
weren't gonna kill.
It was
this.
on a preserve.
I was gonna say.
They lured it off with bait,
Yeah.
and then
But did the guy know about it? The story I read.
But no, I mean he
No,
didn't
he-
pay the government to do it. No, I mean he did it.
He paid
It's
it-
just kind of a douche thing.
it was
to
a
do in my
person
book.
with
That's
a.
all.
It was a person.
I wouldn't do it. Personally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
I just
agree
think it's a
with you
douche
there.
move to do.
Yeah.
But that's my own thing. I question the outrage of people, like the legitimacy of it.
Well,
That's it.
I think the amount of outrage had something to do with how famous the lion was, but it's crazy. Like they're like going to his dental practice and putting like a bunch of shit on there. He has a house over on the west coast of Florida in Marco Island, and they spray painted on his garage door "Lion Killer." Like he has like a vacation house and everything. So I thought
I wonder if that's like a bag of pride,
yeah.
like,
Well, now
lion killer. Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm the lion killer.
I'm king of the jungle.
well now
I am king of the jungle.
Now Zimbabwe is actually banned trophy hunting.
Well,
so-
I thought you meant white people.
That-
No
well,
more white
that-
people.
They
Well,
should have done that a long time
if
ago.
you know anything about Zimbabwe,
Yeah.
that did actually happen pretty much. They fucking threw a bunch of white farmers off there. I don't want to get into it, but
It's probably a good move on their
it didn't go over very well. You could talk to some pretty bitter people from
Oh
that-
yeah, white
from
people
that-
aren't good when you take their shit. They
Yeah,
don't
you're
that.
like, oh, all of a sudden, like you take all people's shit. Like I had this shit for like 150 years when I took it from these other.
White people get mad when you want them to give equal rights, let alone
Oh,
fucking have to
right.
take
If-
something away from
Like,
them.
if-
Oh
if
my
you're
god.
like, you mean he gets to travel in the same?
He gets to do the same as me.
Yeah, he gets to swim. He gets to swim in the same pool.
Yeah.
Like, that's just too much. It's too far.
I don't want his big dick swinging in my water.
Well, they used to have that. What was that? 1967, Loving vs. Virginia. It was like, we're like, nope, we're just gonna ban outright. We're like, no mixing it up.
But I was always led to believe that, and I've been told this by many black people.
Oh yeah.
They don't swim.
They don't because they weren't allowed in public pools.
Is that why no black people can swim?
Yes, it's
That
exactly.
I
makes
imagine it
sense.
has to be part of the reason.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him tomorrow why he can't swim.
Yeah, no, because they weren't allowed in public pools back in the 60s. So imagine if all your ancestors from like the time that there were pools
Yeah.
existing weren't able to swim in the pools, and then they slowly phased them out as
Yeah, but
as
there's
black
still
people
Probably
were
would
allowed.
just like drown them if, and that's the
Yeah.
only time they were in
There's
the
still
pool
the
before that.
ocean.
Well, yeah, it's still the ocean isn't the greatest
No.
place to learn how to swim. I don't know if you know that.
No,
Dude,
no.
Because
So
if you
it
get
can be
deep
rough.
enough to where you're
be
actually
rough.
swimming, you're probably gonna die.
So you're saying that black people don't get to play La Marco Polo?
no, they
Oh,
don't.
Marco.
Well, because they're like Marco, and they're like everybody out of the pool. We're closing this shit down.
All you fish out of the water.
I went to St. Augustine this weekend, and I didn't even realize I was telling my sister about it on the way up there. I was like, "There's this awesome picture of my awesome by like it's horrifyingly horrible. Like this guy pouring acid into a pool where like some black people are in the pool, and it was one of those things where they were doing like a civil rights thing where they're like, we're going in the pool because you can't discriminate against us being in the pool, and it just shows this angry white dude walking on the side of the pool like dumping the fucking acid in there. So we go into the St. Augustine. It was like the near the old.
What a fucking dick!
Yeah, well,
Talk about a dick move.
I hope you get burned, you black bastards.
What a fucking
Our
dick!
pool is forever tainted.
Yeah.
No white people either.
like nobody
Yeah.
gets to swim. So
Hope you got on goggles, asshole.
Nobody does. If you can't have it, none of us can. No one
Yeah.
does that better than white people.
You should have just pissed in it.
So I go into the welcome center in the place called Old Town in St. Augustine.
Oh, why did you even go there, bro?
It's right near right.
Why
It's
did you
right
even
near
go
the
there?
fort and
I've been there
we end up
Fort what?
Yeah.
For no black people.
No, well, it's Fort from 1500. Like
Yeah,
it's like the
Spain landed.
Yeah, it's like
I
Fort, the first fucking
Ponce
place
de
in
Leon
Florida.
or whatever.
The
Yeah,
fort.
yeah. If you go in there, and I swear to God, they have jails in there, and you're in there in the middle of the day, and you know they had no air conditioning. It's fucking like unbelievable. I don't
Hey,
know how people survive.
Greg, can I tell you
my
something?
God.
What's that?
We all fucking live in Florida. We know it's fucking hot.
Well, I'm saying this is a different kind of hot. When you're
Yeah.
like in a stone building,
Oh, yeah.
with like an enclosed space with not a lot of ventilation and everything like that, and it had just rained and it was unbearable in there. I was like, oh my God, I can't breathe. I'm like, and you know, all it smelled of shit and piss. Like,
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, that was all I was
Baked.
missing. Yeah, baked shit and piss. So we end up going into the welcome center, and as I'm sitting there in the welcome center, I see the picture of the guy pouring acid in the pool, and I'm like to my sister, I'm like, oh my God, come over here, look at this. This is what we were telling you about. And so all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, that did happen. And there was all this shit about like St. Augustine. It was like, I guess because it was the first city in the Americas, they wanted to make
Right.
it an example and be
No
like,
black people?
Yeah. Well, to be like,
That
it
was
should
the
be
Why
example.
would a southern
It's-
state do that?
it should-
I
it
mean,
should be
why
like-
couldn't it be like a progressive state like Oregon? Or
well.
Oh my God. They didn't get there
actually,
for-
Oregon it banned black people from living there for like till I think like the 1960s maybe. Like it was you could not live in Oregon.
You get out.
Well, they have these things called
Oregon's, they're very liberal and shit, but there's still very few. I've been there, very few black
That's
people.
why because
Very
there was
few
no
people.
because
Very
Have
few
you been to Oregon?
Oh yes, I went to Oregon.
I've up until I think it was
I saw like two black people the whole time I was
last century, like, and I think it was 30s, 40s was probably like around there. But you could not live in Oregon. Like they had these things called in other northern places too, where they're like, the North wasn't racist. No, they fucking after that Civil War, and we're like, well, all right, South, we agree on one thing: we hate.
there. Yeah, the West
hate-
didn't like him either.
hate black people. like I know we fought, that the war was fought over and everything, but it was mainly because you wanted to disrupt the Union because we had less political power because of the whole whatever. But so it became one of those things where it was like, oh, all of a sudden they had sundown towns, and they were like, don't cross this line because like if you're black, like if you're brown, don't cross this line at sundown or or some horrible thing.
Or even like Portland is like totally gentrified.
Oh
and
yeah,
everything
yeah,
like that,
yeah,
you know,
and it has a lot to do with they kicked all the black people out at one point, or they were like that's where you see people were like, why do all the black people live in the same place? But like, because up until about 40 years ago, you weren't allowed. Like, you weren't.
They're just creeping in. They're just making sure it's okay.
You physically weren't allowed to move into those other places. There was redlining and all these other things that they would do.
You know what? Maybe that's why. You know what? You just explained something to me. It's kind of off topic, but maybe that's why you're not allowed to pump your own gas in Oregon. Is because they don't want to give black people control of like. They just don't trust black people to like even be in control.
Gas?
Yes, we're just like they think they're gonna start a riot or something
No,
and like blow shit up.
That's more like a union type of thing where well, actually, at one point.
Why though? What would that matter?
Well, because if you think about it, like back in the 1950s,
So that's
you're
the
just
guy
gonna give someone a gas pump, and they're like, gas fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
they're that
You
afraid.
couldn't trust people, and you especially couldn't trust black people with gas.
Yes, well that's what I'm saying. They still don't even trust them. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, okay.
That was sorry.
Yeah,
We're gonna think that
It was good.
we're a bunch of fucking Black Panthers. You know that, Greg. Every week we end up on this topic. Yeah, well, people just hate black people. That's what it's all about. You want to know why?
No. White people hate black.
Oh, white people. You know why white people made French toast? Because black people could only have regular toast. So black people went and got French toast, or white people got French toast, just to spite the black people.
Well, now they have black French people,
Yeah.
and that's why Americans hate French. So
Our
much.
toast is cooked with eggs, and we use the sap of a tree and some butter.
Anyways,
Greg urinates probably like 77 times.
always at the most
an
inopportune
hour.
times
I
during
know,
the
he's
shows.
like, I thought the bitch brought me a drink, but no.
No, he was just abandoning us
He
as we
just left
switch
his
topics.
drink there.
Anyways,
Yeah. So how have you been, Jesse?
oh, why are we asking me again? How are you? How have you been, sir?
Well, to be honest, I hate my life and I want to die.
Oh, okay, nothing unusual then. Just the same old.
No, it's not. It is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
Take it each day as it comes.
Oh man, that sounds
Because you're
terrible.
not promised tomorrow.
Oh man, you have any shows coming up or anything?
Well, the show's at the end of the month. Nothing, everything else, just
Yeah.
open mics.
That's cool.
Yeah, nobody wants to fucking book me. It's terrible.
Nah, man, that's not true.
What about you?
I got a couple of things coming up.
What do you got? Tell me about it.
Well, I was gonna wait till the end of the show, but
well.
no, tomorrow I got a show at Home Field.
Oh yeah, that's
The Kendall show.
isn't
You
that a
should
huge
come down to
place?
that. I've never been, but it's supposed to be
I heard
pretty
it was
good.
huge.
I'm finally getting to do it. Anyways, Greg's rejoining us now, so he's the smart
Greg,
one.
yeah.
He's the smart one with all the conversation and topics, so he can save us from that terrible conversation.
Greg normally picks topics we know nothing about.
And now you know why we always end up talking about black power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Greg's the leader here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So instead of you guys just talking about black prostate, all right?
What?
I can't help it.
Is that a thing?
No, I don't care.
Oh.
No,
I was
I'm just
gonna
joking
say.
around. Yeah, so I have a baby bladder, and everybody knows
A
it.
big baby bladder?
Yeah,
Baby fucking seal bladder.
Yeah. It's basically what goes in goes out, and that's all there is.
Oh,
Heineken.
I-
Heineken's what comes out?
That's what I wanted. That's what I thought of. I was like, I don't know
Heineken's
how.
and hummus.
Whenever I see someone like on stage for an hour, all I can think to myself is like, how did they not have to go to the bathroom?
Well, they
And
probably
then
pissed right before they went.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe
man.
they have a
It doesn't
catheter
matter. It doesn't
or
matter.
a diaper.
I've had the same thing in sports. I'll be like, oh man, like since I was a kid, I'll be like, I gotta pee right now, and then I'll go pee before the game, and then I'm out on the field, like, God damn it, I gotta pee again.
You know what I always wondered about that is like sneezing. I sneeze a lot. Like how to know like at an inopportune time in big time sports events? How does that not happen? Where like someone's taking a big free throw and then they fucking sneeze or something and then like fuck their shot.
Because they're professionals.
How does that never happen? They can
they're
they can
pros,
control
bro.
Like, wow.
That's why they're in the no. That's why they're in the big leagues. And you're
You know,
stuck down
you're
here
going to
with
catch
us.
a pop fly
Wait
or
a second.
something.
That
You
was
sneeze.
the theme song to the Jeffersons, man.
What was it?
Stop it. That's Sanford and Son.
That's moving on up, isn't it?
No, that's Sanford and Son.
in the sky.
What? No, man. You just
I
don't even-
realize. Yeah.
you don't even
Yeah.
know your
Good times.
I was gonna say I like good times. Yeah.
Good times in the pavement.
What's happening? You remember what's happening?
Good times.
Dynamite.
Taking it back to that.
Yeah.
Jesus. So what's going on tonight is
Oh yeah, big time thing tonight
what
going
is
on.
it? What is it? Come on, Scott.
I don't know.
Come on. The Republican
Republican
debates.
Yes, this was the next topic. We were waiting for you to get here to
So-
talk about
A
it.
bunch
So-
of rich people
all right.
arguing.
So out of all the
Who's
all the
involved other than
Republicans-
Trump? That's all I know.
Let's all say out of the Republicans. who's your favorite?
I don't even
Donald
know who's
Trump.
going.
Donald Trump.
Favorite in what sense?
Who's yours? Who's your favorite Republican candidate?
I don't know
Donald
who the
So
other.
you have Donald Trump, Jeb Bush, and that's about it. No,
That's the only two.
who's the other? I can't. Scott Walker, who's the
I don't know who that
governor
guy
of
is.
Wisconsin.
Ron Paul.
I think Chris Christie.
Don't like him.
Rand Paul, which is Ron
Rand
Paul's
Paul.
son.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that guy.
I want to say. See, there's some people that are out. Like Rick Perry's out. Is the governor of Texas.
Yeah, I know who he is. He's a
So,
dickhead.
Is Marco Rubio running for president?
I believe so, isn't he?
I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
Well,
so
I will say that
Donald Trump.
they're all the exact same to me. Trump is the one guy. Trump is the one guy who stands out. But I will say I find it impossible to throw my support behind him because, and I think I told you this before, is that I have so little faith in the American people to pick the right person. If it comes down to Trump and one other person.
I mean, they picked Obama, so I mean,
exactly, exactly.
So that proves that we will fucking
Exactly.
make
And they
mistakes.
picked George Bush twice.
right,
You know what I mean? They picked a George Bush 3 times.
And
You know
George
what I mean?
fucking Washington, what a loser.
Yeah, what a dickhead.
Well, I think
And that
yeah.
Lincoln bastard freeing the
Yeah.
slaves.
We would have been living on Easy
That was
Street.
a joke, folks.
No, Jesse means that shit. See him at home field tomorrow.
That's right. Yes.
He'll be wearing white.
But yeah, I like if he wins, I'd be terrified that he would actually. The thought of him as president to me is just like,
right.
Why though?
I think it's me and Scott got into it the last time we were here.
I don't
and-
trust any of them. And well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was saying, but I trust him more than I trust any of those other, which is weird for me because after I looked into it, as he's basically like the racist like demagogue.
But you know that he's a
type of-
racist guy who's gonna.
but
You
the
know what
thing-
he's gonna do.
Right,
I
because
understand.
all these other guys are like, behind
salesmen.
the back, like, they'll be like, well, they'll use this coded language, whereas he's straight. And I think this is why and I think it's as much as people being like, yeah, I do think Mexicans are rapists, and them being like, well, maybe I don't think that, but I also find it refreshing that he would just speak that plainly.
I agree with that, and I think there's something to that. But I also feel like, if you look throughout the history of the United States, like the only way anything really gets done, like when Lincoln got all his shit done and all these, is when they just kind of took control and said, "Fuck you, I'm doing this whether you want to do it or not." And I just feel like Trump is the kind of guy who would do that. You know what I mean? He was going to back whatever the fuck he wants to do, and he's going to totally go
you
fucking do it regardless.
Yeah.
Fucking Congress, suck my dick. I don't give a fuck what
You're
you know what I mean?
fired.
He's going to go do
and some of the things. See, I feel more comfortable with him being like, if he was the candidate, the Republican primary candidate, and anybody else on the Democrats, I would be like, I don't even.
But
have
how
to
much
vote.
faith do you have in
Well,
them?
I would be like, I don't have to vote because I don't give a fuck who wins.
Well, exactly. So how much faith do you have in any of the Republican
Right. Well,
candidates?
the thing is,
I mean,
that there's a
Democrat.
lot of like, there's Supreme Court picks and there's things like
Yeah,
that. But I'm saying, if it was anybody, I would be.
Wait a second. You vote for the fucking Supreme Court?
No.
But
I
the
just
presidents
pick whoever
nominate based on their
I
party
always pick
lines.
whoever has the coolest name.
No, the presidents.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Obama in your case, I suppose.
Yeah. So they
vote
put
that
in a bunch
time.
of like progressive judges that essentially
Sure.
make things like gay marriage legal and
Yes.
stuff like that. So I think it's important to have a Democrat in there in that respect. But I also, if you look at Donald Trump's history, he's been for things like single payer health care. And he even said so much as he was like, let's repeal Obamacare, but I still feel like we should be able to give poor people health care. Like poor people still
Just
deserve
not
it,
poor
which
black
is
people.
way more than any other Republican has ever been able to say about it with that. And he even said, he was like, and if that loses me votes, then so be it. And every other Republican will be like, let's repeal Obamacare. And they're like, well, what else should we do? And they're like, fuck those poor people.
Yeah,
Like,
fuck 'em.
Like, and no,
Throw him in a goddamn ditch.
Can't imagine why none of them want to vote for them.
I mean, no. I mean, there was a thing in the last Republican primary, the first one, in what was it, 2012. They were like, what we should. It was essentially an issue like that. We're like, what should we do? Like, they were like, let them die. Like they were so hell bent on being like, no, we're not gonna fucking, we're not
Cue
with
the
this
Ted
Obama.
Nugent music.
Yeah. Well, because that was what
song?
what Obama was behind. If Obama's
just
like,
saying.
hey, let's give indigent people like some health care and make it not so expensive for people who are like in the middle class, and all of a sudden they get cancer. People were like, fuck that, fuck you. I want to tear this shit down. And you're like, whoa, that's crazy.
People don't like change, even though it sounds like a good idea.
They do not like change it. And
no.
that's why it's so weird. Someone like a president would run on change because it's one of those things. Like the older I get, the more I'm like, nah, this motherfucker. Like they would keep changing my channels. Like one of the things is like Spotify that I use all the time. Like they keep switching things around. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with
It wasn't a coincidence when Spotify fixed. They had this glitch where you only get like however many skips for free, per hour. Well, if you used to restart it, you'd get just renewed skips.
Oh my god!
And I used to do it for months.
This.
I would do it for months. I would do it for months and months. And then it can't be a coincidence. The day they fixed it and then I couldn't do it, the Baltimore riots broke out. I was like, it cannot be a fucking coincidence. I was like, this is why.
How is that not? How is it not a coincidence? What is fucking?
What do you mean they're rioting because
the
they
Spotify
can't get
because of
skips.
Spotify.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to fucking listen to Weezer.
Well, no, I knew I missed something, so I was trying to figure out. I was
Dude,
like,
apparently
I didn't do
you
a good
just
job
listen
explaining it.
Baltimore
I
riots
suppose.
and Spotify.
Apparently
Like,
you
Yes.
just
you
listen
think
It
to
couldn't have been a
people-
coincidence.
And I'm like, you think any of those people have Spotify? Like, what's going on with?
Well, they're doing it like me. They're poor like
a
me.
lot of people have
And
Spotify.
they used to know.
But they're all black. Black people don't use Spotify.
How the
use,
fuck do you know?
Pandora.
That's a
They use
racist
Ti-
statement.
They use Tidal.
I don't even know what that
What's
is.
Tidal?
It's the JC one.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's JC?
It's Jay Z.
Oh,
it's
the
like
Jay-Z one. Oh, I thought you said
Jay-Z's
JC.
No, is that funny?
It's called
Is that
Tidal.
funny?
Jay-Z is funnier.
Yeah,
I was like,
JC.
JC, I don't know what Jesus Christ. I don't know.
Oh,
Did they call him ho? I just hope he doesn't knock on my door on a Saturday.
oh man,
That was dumb.
where are we? Where do we go with this? I don't.
We were talking about the Republican convention and Donald Trump.
We don't need to
I
talk
got
about
us
that anymore.
I got us off topic.
No,
a
it was
second.
good. It was good.
I do that.
It was a good natural flow. I was just kind of like, where the fuck? What point were we trying to make?
My
now?
mind wanders.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
fired.
So you're fired. But I go back to my original point.
It would be awesome, and not because I dislike Obama or anything, but one quick point on that is bringing up the "you're fired" thing. I don't care who it was who was president before him, but if Donald Trump did it would be funny if, like, for the ceremony when he gets sworn in, he gets to say to the other guy, "You're fired." And he gets-
Obama, you're fired.
Oh, that would
be awesome.
Yeah, that would be like the great, especially with all the pomp and circumstance. Did you see? You see the way Obama's kind of like torn down. There was things where they wouldn't go on the Tonight Show, or like Bush kind of slowly whittled that down to where he would do like more like informal events because before because there was a time when like Thomas Jefferson for 8 fucking years didn't speak to anybody. Like I think I heard that on another podcast or whatever.
How the fuck do you know?
Be true.
But yeah, he went for 8 he went for 8 fucking years and was like, I'm not saying I watched too many documentaries. That's how I know. But he was like, can you imagine a president now? Like you elect him and then for 4 years he's like, I'm not saying shit. Doesn't give
Fuck
up,
you guys.
Doesn't give him. Yeah, exactly. It's basically like fuck you guys. I'm so much better than you guys.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not even gonna pop out for re-election.
You don't even
motherfuckers.
deserve to see my face. Like that. Peace out.
That's how hard he's working.
Who
Yeah,
was it?
that's why.
Andrew Jefferson?
No, Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas
Yeah.
Was there an Andrew Jefferson?
Andrew Jackson. That's what he's
Jackson.
thinking.
You could have said Andrew
Yeah.
Jackson or Andrew Johnson, but Andrew Jefferson I'm unfamiliar
Andrew
with.
Jackson?
There was
Yeah.
both.
Andrew Jackson was
Was
the
a
guy
crazy
with the
motherfucker,
hair
yeah.
that
Wasn't he banging-
got shot and was like, nope,
Yeah.
don't fucking cut that bullet out. I know what happens with those people.
Wasn't he banging his slaves?
That's
That was Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, definitely.
That's probably where you got the name Andrew
Yeah.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
Maybe
that
that
was
was
the
one of his
slave
kids. Yeah.
Yeah, right? No.
Sorry.
Well, anyway.
It
It all goes back to slavery.
I was gonna say a lot of slavery jokes today. That's unfortunate.
So what I was saying is so funny. It would finally be like the pinnacle of the informality of the presidency. If you could just joke around, oh no, you're fired, Mr. President. And that would almost be worth like him becoming president.
They
for
should
it.
do duels like back in the day, like Hamilton and Burr style for presidency. It's like that's how they challenge it.
They
One
shoot
person
each
has to
other?
die. Yeah, that's it, man. Like Old West style.
Oh,
Obama versus
Aaron
versus
Burr.
Trump. Yeah. All right.
Aaron Burr.
Winner's president.
Yeah. Oh man, they just fucking duel it out.
That's
Dude,
it.
I don't think.
Alexander Hamilton, he was gonna be president.
Yeah, man.
That was some shit, man.
Yeah, man.
What
I can't
happened?
believe that.
Can you believe it? Can you imagine if that happened nowadays?
It's crazy. They used to do. It was like in the early 1800s,
Yeah.
and they used to do duels, and basically.
I think he was fucking his wife.
Alexander Hamilton had said some shit. Like they had a like a rap guy beef.
Yeah, he stepped on his shoes.
Yeah. It was something he called
Mark
him out.
ass trick
he's
stepped on my
he
sneakers.
poured Morton salt all over me. So he poured Morton salt all over. Alexander Hamilton basically poured stepped on Aaron Burr's sneakers and poured Morton salt all over him. And
what is that kind of salt? What is the fucking significance?
no, it's from
It's just for details.
yeah. So just so you know, it's specific. It has to be. So essentially, they ended up doing a duel, which is like pistols. Like draw 50 paces and fucking
50 paces. Holy shit.
No, 10 paces. Sorry.
Yeah,
They
Wow,
they
they're
clean walked
fucking
out of
sharpshooters.
town.
all right. Well, if it was 50 paces, maybe Alexander Hamilton would have been alive past that point. But they did a duel where they point the gun at each other, and can you fucking imagine that?
That'd
Just
be awesome.
standing across from someone. I mean, now I guess
You can put that shit on pay per
it's a
view
little-
and make
it's a-
so much money, bro.
it's a little bit more. Well, you can't do it now because it's like people would be really good at it. But if they should do it, and pay per view, but with like the old flintlock, like fucking pirate shit. Fucking,
element of luck to it.
Yeah, you gotta like rip the shit off in your teeth and pour it in there.
Good under
Oh, a
pressure.
musket?
Yeah.
No, well, it's like a flintlock. It's like a tiny musket. There's no rifling or anything like that. It's just a fucking round ball on there. So like when it comes out, you're like, maybe it's gonna go straight, maybe not, because the whole thing is that the action of the spinning around and the rifling of it.
I
That's
love
what
this idea.
That's what makes it go. But if you just shoot it straight out, like just pour some powder in there, like how much powder are you gonna put in there? I don't know. You might fucking die though. So yeah, I mean, because back then that's what it was all about. It was about honor. It was about because they were like
You sunk my battleship.
dude, someone and that's what's so funny. It goes back to the fucking someone stepping on your sneakers.
Yeah, man.
Like that's about honor. Like you fucking
You marked my sneakers.
It's
Yeah,
more about, bitch, you scuffed up my shoes.
Yeah, well, and then it's about your because your shoes are your honor at that
Maybe
point.
you want
Like,
to just
yeah,
look
man.
clean.
That's all you got, bro. Step on my shoes.
or someone did it and indignantly was like, whatever,
On
what I'm saying?
purpose? Yeah.
Oh, dude, forget about it. I mean,
The battle at the Cool Mo D concert.
Mark ass Buster.
You sound like Butters.
Marcus Buster. This was nothing like
You
butter.
guys suck.
Sorry.
Oh, God. All right, what's the next topic?
It's Crystal Metheny.
Crystal Metheny.
A woman named Crystal Metheny was
She worked at Tootsie's?
arrested locally for what was it again? I can't remember.
I don't know what the fuck it did, but just
What-
the name alone, it was for possession of drugs, you said.
Has to
yeah. I forget what the drug was.
Was it
be.
not
So
Crystal?
Waka Flocka.
Oh, it was crystal meth.
Oh,
It was
okay.
crystal meth.
So weird.
That's
It's-
what a coincidence.
Someone's actual name is Crystal Metheny. And
it was an actual name or a nickname?
yeah. And surprisingly enough, she
Crystal
looked like
Metheny.
What a fucking.
She looked
what-
like, I don't know if it was Bebop or Rocksteady from the fucking.
Oh my god, her parents didn't do her any favors though with that name.
Dude, she was
What
rough
what
looking.
pieces of shit?
Yeah.
uh,
Crystal Metheny.
It's like if your name was Rock, Crack is your first name. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
what
what
are
was
your
it?
chances?
Isn't it like Pat Metheny? Like you think he may be by accident?
Yeah, isn't he a singer?
Yeah.
What song does he sing?
He's a guitarist. He's like a jazz guitarist.
Oh.
That's why nobody besides me knows who
No,
I'm
I
It
know who
sounds
he is,
familiar,
but
but I have no
don't-
idea who he is.
Can't think of any
And he's
fucking
pretty
song.
popular. I think he was in a band, and that's one of those things where you're like, oh, that's why he's
The
popular.
Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
You're like, oh yeah, he played with Chick Corea or some shit like that. You're
Who
like,
the fuck
Who
is
the
that?
fuck
see,
is
that's what I'm saying. It's a super famous jazz guy, like top 20.
You're just trying
maybe.
to sound fucking super smart again.
All right.
Hey, I listen to music no
when,
one else listens to.
At what point did people stop listening to jazz?
I would say early 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, easily early 80s.
Okay.
It's fucking unlistenable. Have you ever been anything besides?
I mean, I've
like,
heard some like old,
classics.
Coltrane or whatever. But
well, yeah. I mean, once you get into like the 70s, like the part where people try to say like Miles Davis was the coolest, like that shit. Fucking,
That shit's terrible.
It's awful. Yeah, it's just terrible. I mean, and one thing is like.
It's like, what the fuck?
I mean, you ever seen like heard music where you're just like, it's sort of like when people get really into music, it becomes such like a mind, like the changes and everything, or even just
Sure.
the styling of it becomes so intense that like you can, it's not accessible, from like from a casual viewpoint. I would compare it to like metal, like now, like
Sure.
there's like real like pure metalist head, and like all you hear is like, and the guy's like,
the bass drum's going
And you're like,
crazy.
but no, do you hear the way he changes his voice? Do you know how low that octave is? Yeah, exactly.
You know how hard it is
Yeah,
to get that octave,
yeah,
bro.
and that
They
guy.
don't talk like that. It's like,
You know how it is when it that boy, oh.
Southern rock, apparently.
Yeah.
Southern metal, apparently.
That boy's special. Hey, he's special. He got special down.
Maybe if it was like an old blues guy, I would think that.
That's kind of sound like
Yeah. But
BB King or some shit.
yeah, I think at a certain point, when you get past all like the old standards, where it's like blue skies.
Who is-
shining up,
Who's the group that like people are gonna look back to now? It's like, oh, that was the people who were repping for like the 2010s. 'Cause it's dog shit right now.
Nickelback.
No, they're
Yeah,
trash,
that's
bro.
what we were
They're
It was a
fucking
joke.
trash.
I can't think of anyone that's not
That's what I'm
trash.
saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
who's gonna be the band that
I
lasts,
think-
or
I think-
the artists?
I think we're in a different era of like people.
Nobody's gonna last
well,
because it's all
there's
shit.
so many things that stuck around from the old days. Even you think the Rolling Stones are still fucking touring, and they're still like a massive.
They're
They
still better than most of it.
suck.
Oh, come on, bro.
Yeah.
They
I didn't like them when I was younger, but I appreciate them
They
much
have
more now.
50
A couple
years,
decent songs.
like 11 good
Did
songs.
you hear
What's his name had the nerve?
How many good songs
the
you wrote, bro?
guitarist, Keith
Richards?
Keith Richards had the
He
nerve
said that
to be like, what was it?
Sgt. Pepper's was rubbish.
How angry did that make you?
Didn't make me angry at all.
No, you didn't like Sgt. Pepper?
Hey, you know what? Listen, I'll say this. No, I mean, listen. The guy was there and he lived the shit.
Right.
So if that's his opinion and he thinks it's shit, he was kind of a contemporary, even though he was like their stepbrothers.
A lot of people do feel that Sgt. Pepper's is an overrated album. Though.
I think it's kind of overrated.
Yeah,
I
a
mean,
lot
there's
of
some
people
cool
feel that.
songs in it, but as a whole, a lot of the
as much
songs
as
are
you
annoying.
like the Beatles, I feel like someone just like shit talked.
It's
like,
not my
Yeah.
favorite
Yeah.
Beatles
a lot of
album.
people feel that that's an overrated
Yeah.
album.
My favorite Beatles album is
The White
probably Revolver.
Okay.
All right. That makes sense then. And is that like that's before that one?
Didn't
Yeah.
they kind of lose it after Sgt. Pepper? You're like,
I don't think they ever lost it. I think everything they put out is good in its own way.
Well, John Lennon
okay.
had a lot of good solo stuff too.
Yeah.
And we
They
know
all did,
we know who
really.
the talent of that band was.
Ringo.
Well,
The one that's still hanging around.
nah. Well, actually, I did like Wings, but I'm only Band on the Run, so I can't
Yeah,
really.
that's a
That's the only
badass
song.
song.
I can't speak to
I hear
anything
that
besides
song
that.
about
that's
4 times a day at work.
But
What
people-
about
If I never hear it again, it'll be
Hands
good.
across the water.
Oh, I like that song
Water.
too. That's Wings.
Hands across the sky.
Is that Wings?
I'm sure it is.
Oh, I don't know. But yeah, people get angry when you say Wings. They're like, that motherfucker, that's Paul McCartney's band with his wife or something like
No,
that.
that
like-
you hear a lot of the Beatles in Wings.
oh,
Well, I mean,
that's
fucking
what
Paul
people
McCartney,
wanted.
No, I'm
yeah.
saying, but I mean, you hear like that when they did their solo shit. You could hear like, oh, well, that's he kind of brought.
That's what that was his style that
Yeah.
he brought to the band. I
Right,
guess.
right. So I think it was mainly John Lennon and
McCartney.
Yeah.
Harrison did his work here and there.
And it was,
He had
and it
some
was
stuff
really
in
their like back and forth relationship
Sure.
that made a lot of it. And I think that's what ended up essentially ending the band. Like, you know, it's just one
Oh, of course, yeah, the ego between
yeah,
each other.
they're both like, it's just I
Well, George Harrison did have talent.
Well, I was going to say,
Ringo
I
Starr
thought
was
everyone
the-
was
Ringo
tired
Starr-
of Paul McCartney.
Oh, I'm sure.
He was the best drummer in Liverpool, man.
oh, was he?
Yeah.
Is that how they got?
He's not a bad drummer, man.
Mhm.
Everyone still plays his style now.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is the style?
But he's still considered lucky
I don't
to be in
know.
the
Just
band.
listen. I don't think that's true.
I played
A lot of
the
people think
I
that.
played the
He
Rock
was-
Band video games with the Beatles. Holy shit! Like that's some shit, man. I can't imagine like doing some of those songs where it's
Yeah.
like just the regular songs where like bam, like all of a sudden you're throwing.
He's
a
I
a
never
good
played
drum-
any of theirs.
He's a good drummer, man. I mean, he's not a virtuoso, but nobody in the Beatles was a virtuoso. The best musician was probably Paul McCartney.
Mhm.
And
I was gonna say I feel like he was really good, but I think it's one of those things where they get good over time. You know,
Sure.
like they started when they were like 15.
Well, exactly.
In
I mean,
a
like anything
bar or
else,
something
yeah.
like that, and that's the perfect thing is just to be like playing over and over and over until it becomes like repetition, and then you know like you almost don't. That's when people are like, how do you achieve greatness in that respect? It's like you just
Anything, just do it a
do
bunch.
it for fucking ever to the point where you don't get tired of it, and you start noticing like all the things that really like are great about it. And you're like, oh
Sure.
well, you know what works. You know, sort of like comedy is where it's like you know what's gonna. You see like the really good comedians, and you're just like in awe of it because like you know like a Daniel Tosh is someone that I've
Sure.
seen before live, and I'm just like this guy fucking rips the shit up, or a Bill Burr. Like I'm like I don't
Sure.
know how the fuck they do this.
yeah, he just named like 2 of the top comedians like on the planet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that's the point.
I saw
Why
them.
didn't you use Jesse?
Well, I saw them. Well, I'm
He's
saying-
never seen me perform before.
I
that's
saw
why.
them
Sure,
live
what a
before
dick.
He left before I performed.
They
that
were
time.
pretty big, but they weren't like they are now, where it's like you know Daniel Tosh is on a jet and shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You know,
I saw.
Daniel Tosh
you
is 40.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's funny.
he's actually I think went to UCF. He's from
Yeah,
there.
no,
Yeah,
I know
he's
he's
from
from
around-
Florida.
yeah,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
here.
yeah.
He's not that much older than us.
No, it's just funny because like people think of him as like a young, guy hosts the show
Yeah.
on the internet videos and shit like that. He's like a fucking middle-aged man.
Well, I don't know. That's the middle age thing is getting
Yeah.
pushed. I feel like it's getting pushed back, or at least in my mind, because I'm like I'm getting
you're
a
old.
bit-
Because you're
Right,
pushing
right,
it. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah. So luckily, yeah. People start like, I see people that haven't seen me in a while. They're like, "What the fuck is going on?" they're like, "You still look the same. It's not fair." I'm like, "I don't know what's
Hating,
going."
hating.
As soon as I lost my hair, I
Yeah,
stopped changing.
I'm like, "Well, I'm bald, so there's
That's
that."
the only thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the only thing you could do, man.
No,
That's it.
so you don't get
You
all
took
that.
care of that though, man. Just shave it. That's it.
Yeah, so I'm hoping for the black don't crack. I was going. I want to be like 60 and be like, "Hey, bros, I'm really into this hip, cool stuff."
Yeah, I think you'll be able to pull that off.
You think I'll be the old guy in the club, but secretly will be?
You'll be the really old guy in the club,
The
but you'll just look like the
DJ
old
Silky,
Well, I remember.
Smooth.
I remember back in the day that
Johnson.
there was a guy where it was like he was like around 40, you know, like
Yeah.
in the rave scene or whatever. I'm like, this guy is old as fucking.
He
dirt.
was fucking
creep.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
in
you're
Dazed
like,
and Confused.
why in the hell are you here? You know, and now I look at him, I'm like, oh, that's why
He's
you
got a
I
plan.
was like, he wasn't that old, but I also see it as like, yeah, you shouldn't have been there.
yeah. But you understand.
Yeah, you go out to those
At a
places.
certain age, though, I don't think I'd want to hang out with like 20-year-old
No,
kids.
it's kind of.
You don't want to hang out with him, but
Well, I mean, he's really probably just trying to fuck them.
well,
but
that's the point. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, in that case, I guess.
Well, if
but
they're fucking.
Well, how are you
going
gonna
to
fuck him? If
I
you
guess,
hang-
yeah,
You're
you
either
can say
buying
the
him
guy-
or you
I-
gotta hang out with
I
him.
think
mean,
you would
that's one or the
probably
other.
tolerate it. Like, some of these kids
Yeah,
are all right
exactly,
when they're
yeah.
fucking me.
Yeah, he's a fucking
That
asshole.
Silky Johnson sure gives a great dinger.
Yeah, so I think that it comes to that point then when you're just so old and crusty, unless you're like fucking Mick Jagger, you're not gonna be swinging anything anytime soon.
That's
Yeah.
crazy that Mick Jagger still's banging young broads.
Oh yeah,
You think he really is though? Come
come
on, man.
I'm sure.
Like it's like
a
the
lot
like
young-
the Hugh Hefner thing, how he sleeps with all the girls, but then like one of the girls came out the book, she's like, yeah, he doesn't fuck any of us. I mean, like,
that's bullshit.
you know what I mean? Like he's like, yeah, he can't. He's like fucking.
Yeah.
I bet you he still can.
Well, it's weird when you get to that point too, because you're like I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, could I be this girl's father? Like, how many years are in
Right,
between?
right, right.
You know, like
As long
and
as
it-
it's like,
and it's
I don't
even-
think so. It's
even
okay.
then, like when you get to the point where you're like, I could be this person's grandfather. You're like, how fucking weird is that? Like, I don't care about like,
Grandfather.
yeah.
well, he's talking
Well,
about Mick Jagger.
I'm talking about Mick Jagger or Hugh Hefner,
Right,
like age,
right.
like you know, like I'm saying, like through their eyes, like.
But I would also think that once you reach one point, like once it gets past a certain point, it doesn't matter how much
you're
further
just-
past that it is. You know what I mean?
I-
Like once you're past,
you're
18
everybody's grandpa. So
yeah,
you're like, I don't
mean,
give
so
a
fuck
fuck.
it. It's like
Yeah.
if I fuck anybody right now, it's gonna be creepy. So why not just fuck 20-year-old? You know what I mean?
Speaking of fucking,
It's almost what's that?
I don't know if you guys heard this, but Gwen Stefani
Oh my god, yeah.
and Gavin Rossdale are getting divorced.
Oh, is that what you gotta step your game up, bro?
Did you know that I actually met Gavin Rossdale in a Newark airport one
Did he
time?
look like as big of a douche in person? as he does in-
No. I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey,
Are you from Bush?
I was like,
Glycerine.
no, I was like, do you sing in a band? He was like, no, and I was like, okay, so this is going poorly.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what I meant to say was, you sing in a band, and I'm pretty sure it's Bush, and I just wanted to ask you because I bet my friend over there. I knew it was him because he was standing there with the bald drummer, and this was like
Yeah.
1996
Oh, yeah.
bald, where it was like, oh, nobody was bald. So I was like, that motherfucker is on the album. I seen him before, and I ended up saying that, and he was like, oh yeah, then I guess I am the guy from Bush. I was like, I'm not gonna freak out or anything or tell everyone you can chill the fuck out, but it was like in their heyday,
Oh, yeah.
and I remember just being like, I just wanted to
Yeah,
tell you that, and then I walked away. And he was like, "Hey," he's like, because I told him I was
You
like,
want an autograph or something?
well, no, I was like, "Hey, I bet a friend that you were the guy from Bush," and he was like, "Oh, okay, then I'm the guy from Bush, or whatever." So I walked away, and he was like, "Hey," and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "I hope you won that bet." And I remember just being like so confused by it, and I was like, "Oh yeah." I told him about there's something about a bet, and I was like, "I told you."
Yeah, you-
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
bet anyone. I just was like,
That's a good one.
I was like, I know who the fuck you are.
That's like a movie.
How are you gonna prove it? You're just gonna
That's
come
like
back.
a movie
All
moment.
you come back and say, "Oh yeah, he."
Oh, it was
he
really weird.
him.
It was really weird because it was one of those things. I was standing outside of the terminal with my friend. I look inside. I'm like, dude, that guy looks exactly like the lead singer of Bush. And my friend was like, nah, it's not him. Nah. I was like, nah, I'm pretty sure it's him. Like, I'm good with faces. Like, I can see that. And then the bald drummer walked up, and I was like, oh shit. Like,
The
it was
bald drummer.
Yeah,
I
like,
love that no one knows
yeah,
anyone.
No,
else's
it's the
name.
guitar player that was bald.
I was gonna say, I
well,
thought
drummer.
whoever.
there was
Not bald.
exactly. So show us how much I know. But
Some
there was a
some
bald
bald
guy
white
in the
guy.
band. So
Nigel.
that's the
His name
thing
is
that
Nigel.
Yeah.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Of course it was. Of course it was a
That's
little
the-
white English
yeah.
bald guy
Well,
named
it was
Nigel.
like
It really is Nigel.
It was
I know.
96 too, so it was like the only people who were bald had cancer or like like they didn't
Yeah,
shave
they
their
were me
yeah,
or they
yeah,
had
yeah.
or they had cancer.
Yeah, they didn't shave their head
You had a
completely.
shaved head?
We've discussed this before, the powder and
yeah.
Mr. Burns, and we've discussed this a couple times actually.
Burns.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Oh man,
That was right about the year too, 96, 97. I would have to say it was right about that time.
Oh my God.
Damn, they called you Mr. Burns.
That's the worst one ever. We've discussed this. We don't need to bring it up again.
That's fucking terrible. Greg forgot about what he was talking about.
He was talking about
Dude, well,
Bush.
did you hear they got? But it's because he's gay.
Who's gay?
Get the fuck out of here.
He's literally
No,
gay. Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, he's super gay.
No.
But she's saying that he's still gay.
no.
Yeah, he lied about. He used to date this dude for like 5 years,
Oh, before they got together, right?
Yeah,
I
and
think
he
I
lied
vaguely
about it.
hear- I didn't,
and the guy
didn't,
came
didn't
out.
his ex girlfriend. Like he has a kid with another woman from before then.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, fucking.
Who
But
gives
then
a
there's
shit?
pictures of him, and he looks like a little girl. And It's creepy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, someone put the shit on Facebook. I was like, huh? I'm
That's
reading
kind
it.
of creepy.
I'm like, I always knew they sucked, but I didn't know he was gay.
So, yeah, that is.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that at all. That's kind of disgusting.
Yeah. It all
Is
made
he doing
sense.
like a Caitlyn Jenner thing? Is that what he's doing?
No, I don't know if he's still going. Like, for all I know, that could be in the past. But they were like, yeah, he had a previous gay relationship and he lied about it, and she's pissed. And
Well, why would she care if it was a previous relationship? I mean,
I don't know. He probably always wants to bang her in the butthole.
well, I mean,
don't know.
he's her husband.
I mean, it doesn't give him. What if she's not?
I
down
didn't say it
with
gives
that?
him the right. I didn't say that, but he said he wants to. Come on.
She's like, no.
How long has he been married to her? Come on. If you were Gwen
don't know.
Stefani's husband, you wouldn't. Come on.
I don't know how long they've been married, but
A long time.
I know that I was kind of glad they both got married because then they would stop making music together.
They made music together.
No, but I mean, as a whole, it would stop two.
Oh, I
crappy
hear
bands.
you. I hear you. Well, who's worse? No
Although,
doubt. No
honestly-
doubt or Bush. Who's worse?
There's a couple Bush songs I'm like, all right, these are okay songs.
Okay.
But then you think what it's made of.
What do you mean? What it's made of?
Just like if you eat something, you're like,
Glycerine,
this tastes really good. Then you think, oh, it's
Glycerine.
all sugar and this.
red,
I
blue,
never-
and
I-
white again.
There's nothing really
Falls
inside. You know what I mean?
around me.
I never looked at Bush and was like, oh my God, that's such a good band. They mean
God,
it.
a machine
Most people
head.
didn't. I think.
Yeah, that's what
why they
better
never
than the
blasted that past
rest.
that one album.
No, man, they had a pretty
had
like
kinda,
a
yeah.
7 to 10 year run, man.
Yeah.
Nothing
They had that one big
hurts
album. Then they had an
like
after effect
your
from that first
mouth.
album. They hung around for a little bit, and then it was
The
kind
second
of
album, it was produced by what's his name, Steve Albini. It was actually not bad. It sounded just like In Utero, which is I'm sure is what they were going for.
Yeah, that's
No, I'm
blasphemy.
I'm talking about the production.
Oh,
I'm not talking about the like the
blasphemy.
drums sounded really good, and it wasn't like
That second
just-
album was on point, like as far as the sound goes. But
Yeah.
I don't know about all the songs. Like
I mean,
there was 2 songs on. I remember the one,
Swallowed and Greedy Fly.
oh,
Those are the only 2 songs I think I
Swallow.
Yeah.
I did like that song. And then, well, what about Nothing Hurts?
like your mouth.
Yeah, that was the one.
I didn't
oh,
like that song.
on the movie.
I
I
did not like
liked
that
that
song.
song.
That
It
was
went
a
Yeah,
along
but there was
with-
a computer version of it too, like a synthesizer version.
I didn't like that one. I like that
I-
one less actually.
I didn't really like it either. I wasn't a huge Bush fan. I had the album because
Still, yeah.
that's what you did back then. You bought CDs.
Right,
yes,
right.
that's
Because
what
all
you
you
did.
there was.
Yeah.
I remember going to the Best Buy, like not too far away, up on Palm Beach Lakes, and that was it. I remember walking through the
Oh
store.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There was a Specs.
Yeah, it was Specs, and then it turned
And
into
then
a Best Buy.
there was one down. Really?
Yeah,
I
well,
feel like
there,
we
there was
discussed this before
there
as
was
well.
a Peaches or whatever. Yeah, but you just walked. That's what's
Oh,
Peaches.
right
So there
across
you go.
from the
There's
mall.
another
I
one.
thought you were talking about
No.
across from.
no, there's one right across from the mall. That's
There was
where-
a Specs in where
Sports
Farmore
Authority.
and Sports Authority. Exactly.
Yeah. That was the that thing. Yeah. So I didn't really go into there that much.
I
remember-
went to the one in Boynton.
I think.
Where is there any open record stores? Do you
Oh
know?
my
That's
God.
what- Is there
There's-
any
Record
it's
stores?
or
saddest
CD
shit
and
ever.
music stores? Is there
I
any?
mean, well,
There's
everything
none.
is all
It's all
online
digital. That's
streaming.
what I'm saying.
Well,
That's
it
what I'm
comes
saying.
down to the fact where people are like, why can't we just sell a record? And I was like, dude, because I'm not gonna fucking stack these things up
Yeah.
like physical media. Like all I want is just give me a bulk price, especially when it's like, all right, I got bread here and I got bread across the street for free, but you're gonna have to pay $10 for this bread. You're like, dude.
Right.
Like, like I can pay for all the bread in the world, which is like $9 a month on Spotify. And they're like,
Right,
no,
right.
we can't figure out how to make, they're not paying us no money. I was like, well, maybe if you didn't drag your feet into the hole, like instead of like being like Napster, we're just shutting it off.
Fuck you, Lars.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're like, we're gonna shut the whole Napster thing down, and we're just not gonna do that. And like, well, you do realize that you have no choice.
I destroyed
It's-
Napster, man.
yeah.
I had so many
Oh,
downloads.
dude,
I
never-
illegal
I
downloads.
never-
Well,
I didn't
remember-
have a computer until like
Oh,
8 years ago.
I did like way
Oh my God,
before
oh
it
my
even
God.
caught on. I had Napster and was downloading
Well,
everything.
how
everything.
revolutionary was that?
It's
Like, I mean,
fantastic.
as far you went from being able, like going to listening to a CD, and you had to be like go from front to back. Okay, so you could skip songs, maybe program your CD player if you were savvy, and go from different songs. But you couldn't skip tracks. I had actually a multiple CD player, but still at the same time, if I wanted to go
It
from
took
one
fucking forever.
CD yeah, it was like.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember I used to fucking like take it and I would put on the headphones and I would program it to play like all these different songs together, and it took forever for me. And I would have like song playlists, and then a couple years later, all of a sudden I can get Winamp, and I can
Oh,
just
sure. Hell
line
yeah.
up these
Great.
MP3s, and you can have it any order you want. It changed my
Yeah.
fucking life
That
to
was
the point where I
awesome.
was like, there was no way like 10 years ago I would ever have this much access to music. And and to me, once they were like, we're not doing the Napster thing, it didn't really even come about until iTunes.
Right.
Where you could actually see and they had a comprehensive database of music. They didn't want to do it. They wanted to sell you CDs. They didn't want you to even play your. Remember for a while they were like, okay, we're not going to like let you rip CDs onto your computer.
They
like
try to put blocks on them and shit.
Yeah, they
like
just did something about that in England the other day. They made iTunes illegal because they were like, well, you can have it on the CD, but you can't like rip it to your computer because. And it's like, dude, you guys are so fucking dumb.
Right.
Like, you don't understand how this works. It's like, I'm going to do this either way.
We're gonna find out a way to do this.
Figure out a way to make money off of it, or else I'm not paying. And, and I didn't pay until they had Spotify, and I paid for a few things on iTunes, but it's still at the same time I was like, fucking God. I got to get this bulk access because I'm not going to pay for 15 different albums for one band. I'm sorry. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how many of these songs are shitty, and chances are it's probably all but 3 or 4. And I need to listen to their entire discography to figure it out. And
that's because you need to like better music.
Well, maybe if I just like more music and then I find the stuff I like, Scott, instead of just listening to Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana.
Oh, yeah, that's all I ever listened to.
Oh, well,
he likes Bush,
too.
too.
I'm sorry. You expanded to Foo Fighters. I forgot.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You went outside your boundaries and like, I'm just going to go with the drummer from Nirvana.
Greg's such a fucking hipster.
Bush, no doubt.
He's like, I was like, hey, have you ever heard the song before? He's like, most of the music I listen to doesn't even have lyrics. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? He's like, it's pretty much just music.
I'm beyond words.
I get into this music, and it puts me in my special place.
I feel the music.
I like to think of it as modern classical. You didn't have Mozart being like, hey, bitch, sing on my shit. Or
Mozart was like, my shit's so good.
Yeah,
I'm not
well,
daring
actually,
letting you
they
sing
did
on my
operas,
shit.
so people probably argue against that. But who the fuck wants to listen?
But
to
whoever listens to
so you're
Mozart's
listening
opera.
to modern day operas. We got all the music, bro.
I'll take a fucking dump on an opera.
No, that's what's gonna happen. You can listen to Beethoven still, like the non-opera type. And you're like, I can dig this shit. Like do 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 do. Do. Like you're still.
I love that song.
Yeah. The Moonlight Sonata.
I'm just kidding.
I don't even know that's the song. So yeah, essentially, you're hating on this, but what's going to come down to is the shit you like now is going to sound like fucking opera in about 100 years.
You know what's going to sound
like, how did they like this? And they're going to listen to my music, and they're going to be like, oh my God, it was so transcendental.
I'm going to take a dump in your sunroof. That's going to fucking sound like opera. La, 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 la. Oh, dumpski, dumpski, dumpski. It is coming from ski.
Now scream.
In the front seat, ski.
Scream.
No. La, 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 taking a dump, a dump, a dump, a dump in your sunroof. Yeah, no, I'm not done.
Plop.
Using a sting
Thought I was
my
done.
butthole off.
Thought I was done.
But I'm not done.
Oh my God, I can't believe that's
Done. Take a dump in the trunk on your spare. Dump.
Dude, that was perfect.
Thank you.
You finally learned it.
Thank you.
You learned the back off method.
Yeah, cool.
You figured it out, right?
No.
You
You
get
probably
it.
make some money singing that in an opera or something.
You think so?
Like, oh yeah,
Well,
How's my singing? Was it all right?
it was on point, man.
Dump. Yeah, man.
It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thanks, man. Well, you know what?
I think we're good.
We can't top what I just did right
Yeah,
now.
that's a strong
That's a
close.
great place to.
now. Yeah. I mean, if you guys didn't stop listening during
Almost
that,
immediately.
it's definitely fucking over.
All right, Jesse's got a show next week.
Jesse's got
I
a
briefly
show.
mentioned it.
Hopefully this is up by then.
Yeah.
He's a dick.
I was bad about the last episode.
Yeah.
It happens.
Well, where are you going to be?
Oh, okay. I will be the 21st at the Creepy Tiki Tattoo, Fort Lauderdale. 22nd. You will also be at the Funky Buddha
Yes.
in Boca.
Yes.
The Summer Comedy Fest.
I will be there.
Contest.
I'll be there with bells on.
I feel like I'm missing another one, but that's the 13th. I'll be at Stash in Fort Lauderdale.
And we will see you next week.
Whoa.
Oh.
I will be in St. Augustine trying to get all the black people out of the pool. So
Yeah,
if you want to
acid
come see me
pool.
next week, then
Or if you would like
that's
to
where I'll
donate
be.
some acid, speak to
Do you know what I
Greg.
mean? It's got to be really potent because the pools are big now. So
Yeah.
all right.
Nooch.